Well, it's definitely a big weekend.
It's on.
It's a big weekend for obviously FedEx and the Autism Speaks. Got to do a golf tournament here yesterday and had a lot of fun doing that once again. But FedEx and Autism has had a great partnership, and we're trying to raise awareness for autism, and I think that this is a great weekend to do that. They willingly give up their race car for this race, the past couple of years, and obviously the name sake of the actual race. So we're trying to do a lot for them, and couldn't be prouder to be driving the FedEx Autism Speaks car this weekend.
Okay, we'll open it up for questions. Please raise your hand. We'll get a wireless mic to you. Please state your name and affiliation. Questions for Denny? We'll start right here with Viv.
Viv Bernstein, NASCAR.com. Denny, you have like 4 top 5s in the last 5 races. I think Kyle has 4 top 5s in the last 4 races. Can you explain JGR's strength right now? Is it where you want it to be? Are you as consistent as you were 2 years ago when we made a run for the title?
Yeah, we're getting there. I'd say we're probably 75% of where we were as far as our strength to the field in 2010 to right now. But I think we've identified the areas in which we need to improve that 25%. So everyone's going to work. Everything's going well right now. There's really no point. There's nothing in our outlook that looks grim in the sense of knowing that we're going to have good cars coming up here each and every week. We're going to have a better car going to the racetrack. So everything looks good, and I feel like there's no reason why we can't have 4 or 5 wins before we even get to the chase.
Okay, we'll take our next question up front.
Andrew Koch, WGMD Radio, Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. You're running a full paint scheme this weekend for Autism Speaks, the whole puzzle piece paint scheme. Have you had any experience in your life with autism, either someone with your family or someone close to you that has been affected by autism?
Well, some of the partnership that we have is because it touches someone that the guy that pretty much signs my paycheck, Mike Glenn, at FedEx. His son has autism, and so it means a lot to them, and for them to take an opportunity to paint the car, to raise awareness, and I just reading a bunch of stats from it, from yesterday, 1 in 88. It's just the number just continues to go down of people that's diagnosed with it. It's a major concern, and there's really no cure. So it's you've got to identify it. It takes a lot. These families that have to deal with children with autism, it takes a lot out of them. So this is all about raising awareness, and we're here for obviously a greater cause this weekend.
Questions for Denny? Please raise your hand. Okay, we'll take one from Reed, then we'll go right over here.
Reed Spencer from NASCAR Wire Service. Denny, it looked like a lot of people in the first practice were maybe sandbagging a little bit in terms of getting getting an earlier qualifying draw on. You and Kyle were both near the top of the charts. Do you think the draw is not that important, or was there some reason why you guys didn't try to manipulate your position?
Weather is really the only reason that you wouldn't try to change your position. If it gets rained out, then you don't want to get caught by the rain, and obviously there's a greater chance of rain tomorrow than it is today. So that's why we try to go as fast as we could today to ensure if for some reason we don't qualify, we at least have a good position.
Go ahead with your question.
Scott Walsh from the Scranton Times of Pennsylvania. Denny, I know you're focusing on Dover this week, but I wondered if you could look ahead next week. You've obviously had a lot of success in the past at Pocono. It's a whole different animal this year with the shorter race, repaved track, spending 2 extra days up there testing. Can you just talk a little bit about your mindset going in next week?
Well, I'm going to approach Pocono like it's an entire different racetrack I've never been on, because it basically will be. Obviously, we've gone through a lot of rule changes and surface changes at that track every time we've gone back, and so it's just going to be another element that's changed. Kind of talking to guys that have ran there. It's going to be interesting to see what tire that they brought back. But it's all any advantage I thought I might have had at Pocono is obviously disappeared at this point, and so I go there with a lot of optimism that it's just a brand new track for everyone, and it's going to be the first one to figure it out wins.
Questions for Denny? Please raise your hand. Okay, we'll take one right here.
Denny, Chuck Davis, Comcast Sportsnet. Wanted to know what makes this track so difficult to drive and figure out.
So many different things. I just pinpoint even in practice today. I know that I'm mediocre here at best. Is that I just try to identify why I'm so inconsistent at this racetrack, why I don't have a good feel. Typically, when we run good at a racetrack, we typically run there good forever because I am able to duplicate that feel that I'm looking for. And this track is very sensitive to feel in the sense that it's such a fast racetrack that you miss your mark on entry by a little bit, it changes your feel of the car entirely. So for me, I just try to work on things that helps with driver feel in the first practice, and then we'll work on actual tune and setup for the second. So I'm definitely when people want suggestions or rookies ask about how to get around a racetrack, this is not one they look towards me.
Final questions for Denny? Oh, go ahead. Follow up.
Real quick, Denny. On a side note, I asked Martin Truex about the Redskins drafting RG3. He said he had no idea they did. Hopefully you have a better answer.
About what?
The Redskins drafting RG3.
Right.
What are your thoughts on the Redskins finally getting a quarterback of the future?
Pretty excited about it. I mean, it's I think that anytime you can have someone that I think that has his talent, just athletic talent, it's gonna help your team. And so I think that that's an area that the Redskins have been weak for the last 5-6 years realistically. And so it's good to see that they're taking steps in the right direction. I know their owner is not shy about doing whatever it takes to try to win a championship financially. So he'll do whatever it takes. It's just looks like they've got a good team assembled this year.
Has Coach Duke said anything to you about it?
Nope, he hasn't. He obviously still has interest in the team. He still, I think, advises them in some kind of way, shape, or form. So he'd be the guy to ask, really.